Tell me the story of the ROTC incident where your boy got into it with, I believe it was Puddin and his boys, and then they end up coming to the school.
Yeah, well, we all went to Centennial at the same time, man. Me, Puddin, and all, I think he might have been a year older than me or something like that. And they was on campus. I don't know whether he went to class or not, but he was on campus. And I was at ROTC, and me and my battalion. Well, I was a battalion chief. I was the man. Me and my executive officers, we just walking down the senior square, just minding our own business. And one of the cats just jumped up and, where you Popeye motherfuckers going? And my lieutenant, tall brother, about 6'4", looked like Blake Griffin, red hair, freckles, the whole 9 yards. He stuttered a little bit, and he said,
Shit.
Why we gotta be some Popeye motherfuckers?
You cold for imitating him, by the way. You cold for that.
Yeah, my boy, I love him to death. And homeboy stole on him. That was all. They got to fight. And the fight didn't last but a hot second. Security guards broke it up. And we didn't think much of it. Okay? A couple of days later, me and my boy was walking through the park between his house and the school. And there the same guys were sitting on the bench. It was just like in a movie, man. Fuck. We can't. There's too many of them. These guys is killers. They don't think about nothing about stabbing somebody or shooting somebody. And just so happened, one of the guys that was there was my neighbor from across the street, who actually ran most of these guys. Okay, his grandmother and my mom went shopping on a regular basis. He could not let me get jumped on and watch it. He knew that. Okay, so he told my guy and his guys, go head up. Leave them alone. You can't jump them. Just, y'all got to go head up. Well, what they didn't know is my boy, Andre, was he was training with Golden Gloves.
Oh,
he wasn't a champion or nothing, but he could fight. He didn't look like it, but I guess if you a light-skinned Blake Griffin cat in Compton, you got to learn how to fight, because you've been fighting for a long, and stuttering, you've been fighting for a long time. They got to fighting, and my boy did much better than he should have against a so-called gangster. My boy should have if he took a dive, would have been all right, but he didn't take no dive. He put hands on him. I ain't gonna say he beat him up. I never tell that lie where he beat him up, but he got too many good shots in for a Popeye motherfucker. Okay. And the next day we go to school, and we left. My boy stopped the fight. They clowning. Oh, he did this, he did that. I forgot the word. Or I forgot the word they called it back in the day. Damn, I keep coming with it. Well, anyway, he did this, he did that. Okay. And next day, one of the girls who was in my homeroom class said, I don't know what happened to she told me the whole situation. I don't know what happened to Enterprise Park yesterday, but whatever y'all did, the PlRU boys said they killing everything in the ROTC uniform. And she lived on PlRU, so she knew.
Damn.
I tell you what, baby, I got you. I will see you never, because I'm out of here.
Turn in my uniform.
I turned in my shit. I hit the fence and never went to school again. And sure enough, they beat niggas' ass all day at Centennial.
Damn.
And it was one of them situations for me, man. It was so stupid while we was fighting. I had to make a decision, man, because one thing about so-called gangsters, they don't take L's, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you beat them, they come back. And we wasn't fighting over nothing, man. It wasn't worth me killing nobody or getting killed over. So I just left it alone, man. And I saw all them guys later in life at the grocery store. We all shopped at the same store. And when you saw them by themselves, they weren't the same tough dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They were not the same tough dudes, man. In fact, they stopped. Look, oh shit, he got me this time. No, I ain't got you. Go on about your business, man. They miss me. I ain't tripping. Okay? But remember, I could have got you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, most of these guys are dead. Me and my boy, we still do our thing, man. So,
Yeah.
Like I tell anybody, any youngsters, all the pills are most important to you, man. If you like breathing and freedom, you might want to rethink your position on some of this bullshit.
Mm.
I've always enjoyed my freedom, and I got a good thing. I love breathing. So,
Man.
I choose to make decisions that most people don't.
Alonzo Williams tells the best stories. He's been through a lot. He's seen a lot. He's done a lot. If you enjoyed that story, go show my boy some love and subscribe to NWA Stories with Lonzo. NWA Stories with Lonzo right here on YouTube. But Pudding is one of those names I've heard throughout the years, ever since I started doing YouTube. All the OGs, all the BGs will talk about OG Pudding. Apparently, he didn't play. He didn't mess around. And the blue team knew that. The blue team knew that PlRU Pudding was nothing to be messed with. Some say it's spelled Puddin. Some say it's spelled Puttin for putting in work. I've seen more Puddin, but I don't know. It could be either one. Comment down below. What is it? Puddin? Is it Puttin? And don't act like you know. If you don't know, don't even comment. But if you know for a fact what it is, comment down below. But the PlRU boys, they had certain neighborhoods shook. And being that they were outnumbered, probably 8-1, 10-1 by the blue team, a lot of people say the PlRU boys, they had a little more heart. Because not only were you outnumbered in the streets, but you were also outnumbered behind bars. Do you guys know anything about PlRU Pudding? Have you heard the name? I would love to know your thoughts. Comment down below on what you know about PlRU Pudding. And please, make sure you guys hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. Tell everybody where you grew up.
I'm from Wilmington, California, South Bay, Harbor area, Los Angeles, where the water runs. Close to Long Beach, next door to Carson.
Yep. And what was your upbringing like coming up? Mom, dad around?
Yeah, mom's around. She passed away later on cancer. Pops in the street, gambler, into drugs, running, everything that comes with that. And then most of my life, he was in and out the pen and county jail. So my stepfather was around since about 88, all the way up to my, to mom's passed away. But me and Pops, we straight now. He doing good. You know what I mean? But grew up in the Harbor area and went to school with Dodson Junior High, Cooper, Wilmington Junior High, Avalon Continuation. Went to Carson Eagle Tree. And most of them was just like a month at a time, though, because I was going to jail. So this was like before and after when I got away and stuff. But from Wilmington to Dana Strand Village Housing Project, they tore down now. But that's the home of the waterfront. And that's where I was brought up at.
Okay. Talk to us about Wilmington in the 1980s.
I ain't from the 80s yet. I'm from the 90s.
Oh, the 90s. Okay. Talk to me about the 90s.
In the 90s, everybody was selling dope. Gang banging was at its all-time high in the 90s, as you know. I started banging before the truce, so I got a little dose of that, but I was in jail. But our hood back then was like a mixture. Black gang, but we got a lot of Samoans, and we had a lot of Hispanics. And most of the Hispanics now, they West Side Weemots now. But back in the day, the Hispanics that were around the project area was from Waterfront. They was PlRUs before they turned CENTENNIAL.
Okay.
And we over there and next to Carson and all that, and we hung out with like the Cabbage Patch PlRUs, the Scottsdale PlRUs, the Scott Parks. They had a hood called Chronicles. We kind of allies with all them, and our enemies back then was like the Dodge City Crips and San Pedro, the Harbor City Crips, the 190s, the SOSs. And like back then, we got along with the Wee Monsters. that was from the west side, because like we shared the project together in the whole west side of Wilmington. So back in them days, whoever would shoot at us, if we didn't have nothing, they'll shoot back for us. You know what I mean? Or some of them brothers was from Waterfront, and when a couple of them brothers was from Weimar, so it was never no issue until later on down the line. We'll get to that. But you know, back then Waterfront was like a mixed gang. We got a lot of Samoans, so still around to this day.
Okay. When did you start gangbanging?
About 90, late 90, beginning 91.
Okay. How old were you?
About 13 going on 14.
Okay. Take me back to that day, man. What were you going through mentally? You know, were you ready for this?
Yeah, because like my pops, he the one brought me down here. I didn't grow up in the project. So I lived, the moms had like a little place in Carson, Torrance, San Pedro, so we was moving around a little bit. But I was messing up in school. So one day my mom called Pops, was like, you need to come pick him up and show him something because he ain't listening. So my dad, he picked me up and took me down to the hood. He took me to the project in Wilmington. And then when I got down there, we went to the street called Craven Street, right across the street from the project. And my big homie, Boy One, he stayed on that block. So when I got over there, I was just seeing a gang of smokers. You know what I mean? A lot of people selling dope and everybody outside. And it was just something I ain't never really seen like that. But as that same day was going on, I seen like two Hispanic dudes I knew from school that was from Waterfront already. And they was talking to my pops. And he was like, yeah, my son over there sitting on the porch. And they looked at me as my homeboy Ant. I knew him from school. He was from my hood back then, but he don't bang no more. He was like, what's up with it? You know, he's like, come on over here with me. So we pushed over to the project. And then I told Pops I'll be back. We pushed over to the project, and then we started walking around. And then as we get to the project, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4. Each parking lot, we call them circles in our hood. So there's like first circle, second circle, but everybody hang in the third circle. That's like the main dope spot where we all hang out and politic at. And then we started walking through all the parking lots. And then when we got to the third circle, I seen a couple other people I knew from school, but they was already banging and everything. They was just young. And I started going over there for like a week straight. You know, after they showed me around and showed me everybody, I started going over for like a week straight. And then once I went over there, there's my homie named Spanky from Scottsdale, PlRU, of course, and they used to be in the projects with us, a lot of Scottsdale. So it was like, yeah, when y'all go put on Mobile's son, he been out here every day. And then my homie Tito was like, he gonna get put on soon. Watch, someone just gonna come outside and he gonna be ready. And then that same day, they came out. A gang of homies is outside, but like, we finna do this today. We deep enough now. So they was like, you ready? I just took off my hoodie and just handled my business, squared up with like 5 homies at once, and got put on, had a black eye, went back home, told mom I got jumped at school earlier, and then we left it like that for the rest of the week. And then after that, I was coming to the hood. Still the next day, I got put on with a black eye. But now this time when I'm coming around, the big homies is outside. They put me on with dope sacks. You know what I mean? Back then, my dad was on drugs, so he was kind of outside with it. You know what I mean? So once the homies gave me a dope sack, and they told me what a 10 rock was, 20 rock, this was how much you give them for 50, this is what you do for 100. I started getting my little sack together out there, and I started selling dope, running around with everybody. That's like, our hood was mainly like a real dope project. Like, you know, the harbor area, you know, the ships are down there, so you already know what time it is.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of drugs going on back there, so I'm selling dope every day outside, every day. Eventually, I started running away from home because, you know, the homies is telling me at 2 in the morning, like, I made 500, 600 at 2 in the morning, you know, there wasn't no one outside. So I started, like, staying out trying to get my 500, 600, 700. And once I started running away from home, I just started running with a different crowd in the projects in the hood. And then the crowd I ran with, they was more like, you know, jackers, shooters, and they was like, you know, too much hustling going on with them. So I just started robbing. And then once I just started robbing, I had like 8, 9 robberies. And then during the time I was running away from home, this the same year. You got to think about it, this the same year I got put on. I'm in the hood for like 6-7 months. But at the same time, I'm in the hood every day. It wasn't a day I missed. You know what I'm saying? So it felt like I was there 2-3 years. So one day there's this police officer named Cirillo. He pulled up on me and the homies. We was at this park called Woodhall Park. Now that's a Westside Weemoss Park, but we be over there too back then. And he pulled up on the grass. He was playing Simon Says with me. And he was like, "Hey, Simon, Lil Mobile." I was like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Chilling." Because he had already took me home 2-3 times prior from running away. He's like, "I want to play a game with you." I'm like, "What game we playing?" And he's like, "We go play Simon Says." And then he just said, "Simon says this, Simon says that." And then he said, "Simon says he's being arrested for a lot of robberies." And then he just handcuffed me and put me in the police car. And then I told my homegirls, if my mom started to, let her know they took me to jail. And then next thing I was in the Harvard division, getting ready to go to my first time to LP.